Hi everybody, this is Heather from CysterWigs.com, and today I'm bringing you a viewer request. This is the Dakota wig by Estetica in the color R32F, which is a medium dark brown with a very pretty 32 auburn highlight. Now, if you checked out my review of the Scorpio wig by Revlon, you'll see that that wig had 32 chunks. Well, when I said that the Revlon colors were more dramatic, what I was stating was something to the effect of they're just way more bold. If you compare the 32 in the Estetica line to the 32 in the Revlon line, the 32 from the Revlon line is a much bolder, much brighter, and more brilliant auburn. Whereas in the Estetica line, it's beautiful, but it is a slightly more natural looking shade, more salon quality type shade. Whereas with the Revlon line, it's a little bit more like a avant-garde kind of color. It's just very bright red. You're not gonna shock anybody with the 32 from the Estetica line. But that being said, Dakota is beautiful. This is a really pretty wig. The hair quality is luscious. It's very nice. Estetica has kind of like a drier fiber, so it's not going to be as silky as, say, like Noriko or even Envy. Envy has a very silky fiber. This has a very natural feel to it. So if you're one of those people that's really missing the feel of your real hair and but doesn't have the money to spend on a human hair wig nor the inclination to style a wig, this is a wonderful option. It's quite long. Here, I'll actually show you the back up front. This is the back. I don't know if you can get all that in there. But it's 10.5 inches from the nape, so it's quite long. It's not like a super long wig. If I pull it up in the front, you can see it doesn't touch my boobs, so not a boob hugger. It's just long. But it does have these beautiful layers that kind of flip in a little bit. And it has a very beautiful layered, feathered, fringy kind of long bang. The bang is 3.75 inches, so it'd be very easy to have a blunt bang cut into this one if you wanted it. And she does have a 100% hand-tied monofilament top. That is very nice. It's a really good looking mono top. The weight is very, very nice as well. It's not particularly heavy. It's 3.6 ounces, which is quite nice for a longer wig. Long wigs can be hot sometimes and kind of heavy. This one is not that way. I'm gonna shine a little bit more light on this so you can get a look at the color. And if it looks shiny, don't worry. This fiber is not shiny in real life, hardly at all. It just looks like healthy, natural hair. If you've ever owned an Estetica wig, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The only reason why it seems so shiny is because I've got like 4 really, really bright lights shining on it to the point where, like, I'm surprised my skin isn't glowing. It might be, who knows. But this is very pretty. Here, let me pull this out a little bit at the sides. So you can see there is a shorter chin framing layer, but in general, it's quite long. I think this is a very, very pretty wig. And the monofilament top is, like I showed you earlier, it's just wonderful. It's a great mono top. Because sometimes when the monofilament is too thick on top, it's hard to tell that it's even there. It just kind of gets crowded out by all the hair, which is a good problem to have. I mean, because if you shed, then, I mean, you'll have plenty of hair to make up for it. But the monofilament top on this one is natural right off the bat. I'm even going to switch the part around for you with the aid of a wide tooth comb. You know what? I'm just going to part this puppy right down the middle, which is usually a no-no with like a standard wig. But that way you can see that is beautiful. It does not have a lace front, but it has a rather thick bang, so just being frank, if you want a lace front, you probably wouldn't be getting this wig, because it would be a waste on Dakota just because she has such a thick bang. Very, very, very nice monofilament top. I'm going to go ahead and take this off so you can see what the cap construction looks like from the other side. Okay. Estetica caps are highly adjustable. I mean, they don't have the fancy Velcro in the back, but they do have these hooks that will allow you to adjust the cap up to, they say a ½ inch, but in some of these Estetica wigs, I seem to almost get a whole inch of stretch out of it. But it just depends on the style. I find that the longer styles tend to be more forgiving than the shorter ones. But yeah, lots and lots of stretch there. Beautiful mono top. And one thing that I want to make sure that I never fail to mention, so I'm going to mention it here, is I've had some customers tell me that they find monofilament to be kind of scratchy. It is scratchy. You know, it is touted as being a premium feature, and that's because of the realism. It's because it looks realistic, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's more comfortable. Now, there is a line out there, Amore has a double layered monofilament top, and that tends to be very smooth and very comfortable and very hot. So there's a trade-off in either case, because that double layer traps the heat better. So it makes those wigs very hot, and it also makes them way tighter if you have a bigger head. So that almost takes that brand off the table entirely if you've got a big head, because I've owned several Amore wigs and they look great, and that monofilament's very smooth, but they're tight on me. You won't have that problem if you don't have a big head, though. My head is 23.5 inches in circumference, so that's big, and it can be hard to find wigs that work. Here is the bottom of Dakota. Even look at all those pretty layers. I love a well-layered wig, especially when it's nice and long like this. Very, very pretty. And that way you can kind of get a look at the color a little bit more up front. Like I said, it has a brown base, a medium to medium dark brown base, but with these really beautiful red highlights. Very, very pretty. And I'm going to go crazy with this and put even more light on it because I really want you to see that red. There you go. Very beautiful, subtle 32. I'm going to dim the light a little bit because that's just insane. Put this back on. Now with these longer wigs, I do recommend that you bring a small wide tooth comb with you basically everywhere, so that way you don't have to brush it. You can just kind of deal with tangles with the most gentle approach possible. Very, very pretty wig. There you go. Oh, and I wanted to say, if you do have problems with monofilament, specifically lace fronts, there's something that I recommend to people. Now, there are some people who will never enjoy wearing a lace front because they're going to just be bothered to death. Just like there's some people who don't like contact lenses, you know, and can't get used to the sensation of a contact lens. Some people never get used to the sensation of a lace front. And don't feel bad if you're one of those people. It's not like a moral failing, it just happens. I mean, there are lots of people who don't like lace fronts, particularly because they're scratchy. And even really high quality ones can be scratchy, especially if you have sensitive skin. So one thing I would recommend if you really have your heart set on ordering a lace front wig, even though this one doesn't have that, Scalpicin. Try some Scalpicin and put it right underneath the lace front and see if that helps. If it doesn't help, then perhaps maybe you should try something like this, which doesn't have a lace front, but has the monofilament top. And some people can tolerate the monofilament a little bit better than a lace front, simply because they might have more hair up here to kind of serve as a buffer between the lace or the monofilament French lace and their scalp. If you have a profound amount of hair loss on the top of your head, specifically in that region where that monofilament crown would be, it might just be really uncomfortable. And in that case, there are oodles and oodles and oodles of very pretty standard cap wigs out there. Just get yourself a cap, a rooted hair color, and most people won't be able to tell the difference. So there are workarounds. And if you have any questions, let me know. But if you're in the market for a beautiful mid-length to long monotop wig with beautiful realistic looking colors and hair fibers that is relatively lightweight and easy to wear, Dakota is a very nice choice. So thank you for watching and putting up with my rambling, and hopefully you have a great night. Bye-bye.